Hey peoples, this is another movie review of Holiday in the Wild. As always, I want to say thank you for listening, that really means a lot to me, and on to the review. So Holiday in the Wild is a movie about a woman who recently got separated from her husband. She heads to Africa on what was supposed to be their makeup honeymoon, I believe. She ends up staying there for an extended amount of time, helping a facility that helps elephants, and also falling in love with a man. And that's the movie. Before I get into any part of this movie, I have to talk about the ADR. Oh my gosh, the bad ADR in this movie. For those who do not know, ADR is audio re-recording in a movie. A scene is shot somewhere, but the audio doesn't sound good, so they'll re-record it in a studio and place it over the audio that was originally recorded. They also use it frequently in movies to replace lines. Let's say someone says, "I love you," and they're like, I don't like the way that sounds. So they'll re-record in the studio and say something like, "You were the best part of my life." Something like that. The best use of it is when you can't see the actor's face, because then you can't tell the audio was dubbed over it. And it happens so often that you've probably seen a movie with it. But this movie was so bad at doing it. One, I can actually tell that it's being recorded in a studio. It sounds different than the audio placed there. But also, oh my goodness, at one point they show a man's mouth. It's not moving at all, and yet words come out. It's so annoying. They did this multiple times throughout the movie. But to get into the actual movie, this one starts off pretty rough. It is our main character, her husband, and their son. They're taking their last holiday pictures because the son is about to set off to college. Then right when he walks out of the door, the husband just all of a sudden says, "I'm not happy in this relationship. I want a separation." Just point blank, no build up. We don't see any hostility between them before this happens. It's just, "I don't like this relationship. You're not happy, I'm not happy." And then she sets off to Africa. That's how the movie starts off. It is the weakest intro I have seen in a movie in a very long time. But don't worry, because it doesn't seem to really affect her at all. I mean, she seems sad, but she doesn't cry. She makes whimpering noises, but then she seems to get over it pretty fast after she gets to Africa and sees these elephants. But that connects to the acting, and I don't know what was going on in this movie. I don't think anybody wanted to be here, because I know the main actress, which is Kristen Davis, and Rob Lowe. I've seen them in other things. I know they can act. So I don't know what was going on here. Her line delivery was so flat, and it seemed like Rob Lowe was just phoning it in. But they're not as bad as the son in the movie, because not one of his lines had any emotion behind them. It's like he just said the words on the page, and it was the dullest performance of the whole film. But it made me wonder, can any of these people act, even though I've seen them in other things be better than this? So I don't know what was going on. I guess that probably had to do with the director, but it just wasn't good. But I can't blame it all on them, because the script does not give them any favors. It is very dull dialogue, and there's some corny jokes. There is no energy whatsoever in the words they are saying. Everything is very bland and is said in the simplest way you can say anything. But not to worry, because this is a romantic movie. Maybe the romance can save it all. Nope, no it can't, because the romance is non-existent. And it's non-existent because they do multiple montages and they do time skips multiple times. So our main character is in Africa on a vacation that was supposed to be for her and her husband. So you assume they were supposed to be there for a week or two. So this woman is helping out with these elephants, she's interacting with the people, but all of this is done in montage form. So we don't get any moments of her connecting with Rob Lowe's character. Once the montage actually stops, our two main leads go on a picnic one day, and then she mentions that her son is going off to college. She's been here how long, and she's just now mentioning that she has a son and then is talking to him about children? They should have had this conversation forever ago. By the time they actually kiss around the 37-minute mark, I felt nothing. They've only had maybe 2 or 3 scenes together of actual quality time that we've seen. I'm sure a lot happened during the montage, but again, we didn't see that. And then the movie jumps to 3 months later. It jumps to 3 months later. And have we progressed in their relationship? Nope, not really. Everything seems to be pretty much the same. You would think that things would have changed, but nope, not at all. They do have another woman who Rob Lowe's character is apparently in some type of relationship with, but they don't develop her at all. She pops in and out, but only for scenes to make it awkward between her, Rob Lowe, and our main actress. That's all. She apparently has a job that has to do with the foundation of elephants, but they don't really show her doing anything. She disappears for chunks in the movie and just shows up when she needs to make it awkward. Then near the end, when it's maybe like 14 or 15 minutes left, the movie montages again, and we get some sort of resolution and the movie wraps up. You know, in romantic movies, how characters separate and then when they reunite, it's this epic moment where they have this passionate kiss and you're blown away like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. I made a fart sound when I saw that, because the relationship is non-existent to the viewer. We haven't seen these characters get to know each other really. They've had less than a handful of instances where we've seen them actually bond. So a reunited kiss doesn't have that impact that the movie thinks it does. So when the relationship doesn't work in a romantic movie, obviously the movie fails at doing its job. I didn't even get a chance to dive into her just automatically starting to work at this elephant facility, but that's just nonsense that seems like a whole nother thing. Last thing I will say is that about a week ago, I saw someone tweet about this movie and question how people would receive it. And I was a little bit confused because I hadn't watched the movie yet, but I didn't understand what they meant because it's a romantic movie, what controversy could be behind this movie. But I think I finally understand what this person was referring to, because at the end of the movie you have this sort of white savior thing happen. I can understand how that can be controversial for some people. I was too distracted by the rest of the movie being dull to even really care about this point, but I can see how that could rub people in the wrong way. But anyway, if you couldn't tell, no, I don't suggest watching this movie. It's a dull, boring movie, and the relationship isn't even good. And that's the main point of a romantic movie. So when that doesn't work out, the movie doesn't work out. And that's all, peoples. Thank you for listening. Please do me a big favor and like, thumbs up, subscribe, comment. Thank you for all the comments. All you people on YouTube are awesome. I really appreciate it. Please continue to have a great day. God bless. I'll talk to you tomorrow.